What's good, YouTube? It's your boy. I'm back at it again with another video. So this one, I'm gonna be showing you some tips on how I like to kind of organize and export my loops and samples in FL Studio. So if this is something you're wanting to get into, I got some real good tips coming up for you. As always, please drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment. YouTube's really been trying to do my channel dirty lately, and I think it's because of the tutorials. But I really want to keep dropping these and helping out the producers and stuff. So if you like the tutorials and stuff, please drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment. If you got the time, try and watch as much of the video as you can, because the view duration really helps YouTube like recommend it to more people and stuff. So without further ado, let's go. So in this one, I'm gonna just be going over kind of like some just some tips for making like your own loops and samples for anyone that's interested into like getting into this. If you want to like make your own loop kit and do that thing, or just if you want like a good way to collab with other producers that don't use FL Studio and stuff like that. So I'm gonna just be showing you the way that like I like to make my loops and stuff. I think that, I mean, if someone sends me loops, this is like the way that I would want them to be. And I see a lot of people like sending them super weird and stuff. So I'm gonna just show you like a pretty easy way to keep them organized and how you want to like send them to people and stuff like that. So check it out. This is like my folder for this month of some of the melodies I've been working on. It's April 2021. I got a few in here. So these are all MP3s. And then if you click into this folder, this is like each individual melody. And then you click in, it's got like the stems for each one too. So basically the way this is organized, if somebody wanted to, I could send them this whole folder. They could just download it, put it into their packs, you know, like their thing over here on the sidebar. And you could just drag and drop them right into FL. You know what I'm saying right here? Got all the stems and stuff. So I'm gonna show you how to organize them just like this. So it's real easy to use. Nothing's messed up, nothing looks weird. They're all named and organized and all that. All right, so let's get into it. I'll just play the melody real quick. This isn't gonna really be like how I made the melody and stuff. This is just more like tips for the actual like samples. All right, you get the idea. So just some quick kind of tips for like the actual like making the sample. Obviously you want to keep it simple. Like I could have added a little bit more to this, but I leave it a little more open, you know, the same that I would with the beat, because I know if I send this to like another producer, they might want to like add in another melody or a few more sounds or whatever to it. So you want to leave it kind of open. For the layout, I always start off with like all the instruments. Personally, producers are almost like worse than artists when they're going through like melodies and stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like an artist or a producer in the studio going through stuff like this, but they'll listen to it for literally like 2 seconds, and if it doesn't catch their attention, it's on to the next one. So I start off with like all the instruments in the very beginning, and then I'll let it like break down. Let's see, for the volumes, I usually try and get it around like pretty low. Like I don't put like any mastering stuff on the plugins. Like you could always turn it up more later, but I like to have it pretty low volume so people can just like throw it right into FL and then, you know, work on it or whatever program they use. So check it out. It's going to be kind of quiet. But I notice like a lot of producers like loop kits and stuff, like at least good producers, they'll be down here. Sometimes people do like master them, like loops off splice will be louder. They'll be like -6 to -3. But if you don't have like drums in the sample, you don't need to get it all the way up to like 0 decibels. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep in mind, like people are going to add drums over this and stuff too. So you don't need to, excuse me, to get it like all the way loud. But yeah, I mean, I just got, everything's like all mixed and kind of ready to go. I have two bass layers, and I routed them to a separate mixer track. So if you don't know how to do that, you gotta like highlight them. You go down here, go route to this track only. And basically the reason I did that is because I wanted to have a delay on one of the basses. This is two bass layers. Sorry, I'm getting like ahead of myself. There's like a synth bass and then there's a sub bass underneath it. And I wanted to have like a delay on the first one. And I also wanted to export these as like one layer. So I didn't want it to be like two bass samples in there. So I'm not going to export these two stems. I'm just going to export this one here. Anyways, let me get into how I like organize them and all that stuff. And then I have this clap in here too. That's another thing too. Like when I'm making melodies, I'll usually play it with like some clap or I'll put like a real simple like drum pattern in it. And that'll help you get like the bounce going and stuff. But I can delete that. So how do we export this and stuff? You do not want to I see people do this all the time on tutorials. They'll like record it into Edison. You do not need to do all that. All right, that's just is like a way extra step, and then you gotta like trim it and cut it up and stuff. I don't know why people do it like that, but whatever. It's your thing. If that's how you want to do it, then whoops. If that's how you want to do it, then go for it. But basically, I'm gonna be exporting like the full sample. I'm gonna do it as a wave and an MP3, and then I'm gonna do like the individual stems. So the first thing that I like to do is go to my folder where I'm keeping all these and make a new folder for it so I can just send everything to it. And so I name this loop Go Getter. And I always like to put the BPM and the key of it. So this one's G sharp minor. If you don't know the key and stuff like that, like don't worry too much on that, but put the BPM. Like putting the BPM just makes it way easier when you load up the loop. You don't got to mess with it and try and figure out what BPM it is. Then what I'm going to do is copy and paste this, or I'm going to copy this this title right here because I'm going to use that when I'm naming the stems and stuff. So that's copied. We got our folder now for it. Another real quick thing too. This is just like kind of a Windows thing, but if you use this little quick access bar over here on the left side, like you can take any folder that you want and you could pin it to this thing. Like all you have to do is drag the folder and right here where it says pin to quick access, you just drop it in there. I already have this one pinned, but you'll see right here, like I do that with all my folders that I use a lot. Like I have my one that I export my beats to. I have my packs one for anytime I download like a new drum kit. I have my splice one. I have my ones with like pictures for when I do like YouTube videos and stuff. So that's just like a little helpful tip right there. But anyways, let's do this real quick. So first I'm gonna do like just the whole sample. I know some people, like when they lay out the sample, they like to add in like each individual instrument at the end. So they'll put like each one like this, you know what I'm saying? So that you have like each one in the MP3. Personally, I don't do it like that. Like I just do the whole sample, but that's cool if you want to do it like that too. Just add in all the instruments at the end and then export it the same way. So first I'm gonna just do the whole thing. I highlight it because I don't leave the tail on the instruments. The tail is gonna be like the fading out sound of it. So like, whoops. So like that extra sound where it's dragging out, that's the tail. Some people like to leave those on their samples. I personally don't, just because it makes it easier to when you're like chopping it up and stuff. And I pretty much never I just never leave it. I don't really care when the samples have it or not. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go to my mixer here, and we're gonna be using this down here. These little this little circle. We're gonna arm these. I'm just gonna do the master right now because I'm doing the full sample here. And so what you're gonna do is click this little button here, and you're gonna go to this little arrow, click that, go disk recording, render to wave file. And so these are the settings that I use. The reason I highlighted it before, the reason I highlighted it like this is because we're going to export the song selection. So we're going to leave it on song selection for the tail. Like I said, I do cut remainder. If you want, you could do leave remainder. I would not do it on wrap, because wrap is going to have the tail play through like to the beginning of the sample. It's kind of hard to explain. You could put it on wrap if you want and hear how it sounds, but it's not really necessary for this type of sample or whatever. Just leave all this stuff the same. This is already good. Just go start. And now it's going to export. It'll take a second. Still going. All right. Boom. So that's done. Now we got our whole sample right here. And so what I'm immediately do after this is just mute this one. And then I'm going to export an MP3 also. All right. And I'll show you why I do the MP3s at the end. Whoops. And so I'm going to go to this. I got it pinned. Here's my folder. And then this is the reason I copied it earlier. Now it's copied. There's the title. I'm going to click save. And this one is I'm just exporting it like a normal beat, but I'm going to just do the MP3. So make sure you got the mixer tracks turned off. I'm just doing MP3 for this one. You don't need the wave right now. All right, boom. So now our MP3 is in the folder here. Right there. And now we're going to do like the stems for each one too. So what I like to do for the stems is we're going to highlight all these. We're going to turn off this one because we don't need that anymore. I'm going to do this track, this one, this one, this one, and then I'm going to skip these two and export this one because I just want this sound with both basses in it. And then instead of leaving everything highlighted, I'm going to just go right here where all the sounds are playing because this is all you really need. And so we got all our loops or all our stems highlighted. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to go disc recording. This one's probably going to take a little longer because it's doing like each individual one. And so now check it out. We should have all of our stems ready to go. And so now this is just the same as having it in a pattern like this. You know, you could lay it out however you want, change it up and stuff. And it's that easy. And so now this is kind of the part that takes a minute. We're going to go through and name all these ones. So the way that you want to save these ones, it's a little different than exporting them. But you go up here to the top left corner on the sample. You click, oh God, where is it? Oh, my bad, actually. You click right here, and then you go sample, save as. And then got my thing pinned again. We're going to go to the stems, find that one. And we're just going to export it. This is the full loop, so I just leave the title like this. Save, and it's just going to save it as a WAV file in the folder. Now this one, that's our piano. Save as. Same thing. We're just going to go through for each one literally and just name them all. So this one, I'm going to just put keys because that's like the keys. Right here, this one. I'm going to name this one Melody 1 because there's like 2 melodies in it. All right, this one is the vocal. And this is actually from Arcade. Whenever I do the samples, I'll always put if I use like a loop that's from like Arcade or anything, just so people know. Like for me personally, I don't really care, but I'm gonna just put Arcade at the end right here. I don't really care about like loops and stuff like that from Arcade, but I don't know, some people get all weird about it or whatever. So do not send something like that you didn't fully make and like not let someone know, you know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes I'll make melodies that have loops that are from like Splice and stuff like that, but I always will like label it and let it know, like do not try and send someone something and like pass it off as something that you made. because that can definitely get you in trouble, especially if you're getting placements and stuff like that. So be careful with that shit. All right, and so now we're on to this one. I'm gonna name this melody too. Bow, bow, bow. And then this one is like a pad. And then this is obviously going to be the bass. Boom, boom, boom. So we're going to do the same thing. Paste. Bass. All right. And so this one is all the way done. I'm going to save that. I'm going to just open up a new project, and then I'm going to drop it in just to make sure that everything is good. So check it out. This is like how it's going to look when somebody opens it. You know what I mean? Boom, we got our whole sample here. If I change it to 98 BPM, which is the tempo, they're all gonna stretch, go right to the right tempo, and we got everything here. Yo, my bad. I had to cut the video real quick and re-record this part. I forgot to mention how to save MIDI. I don't normally do this with my samples, but I know some people like to have the MIDIs just in case if they want to like change up the pattern or like change out one of the sounds or something. So the way I would do it is just save it probably in the stems folder, and I'll make one that says MIDI. And all you got to do to save it is go to the pattern that you want, open up the piano roll, and you go right here, File, Export as MIDI file. And then it's already in the spot where I want it. And so I'm gonna just name this one like keys. And then I always put my name on like the samples or MIDI and stuff like that too, just so people know that it's me. And then you just click save. And I'm gonna go to a new pattern to make sure it's good real quick. And you just go to that and you should be able to just drop it in. Yep. And so that's how you save the MIDI. Cool. And so let me show you like the reason why I like to do like the MP3s and stuff is because when I'm emailing people. And so here I got like my full folder. I already have this April 21 melodies loaded up. Excuse me. I don't have this melody in here yet, but I'm gonna just show you like how I would send this whole pack to someone. So what I would do is go to my email here. I'm gonna have to like block out my email or something so you guys don't see my shit. But I would email it to whoever I'm doing. I'll usually layer it like label it like LOGYBEATS melodies 421, something like that. And this is how I do it. Like I'll copy the link right here. Copy link, done. And then what you do if you use Gmail at least, click this little thing right here, do that. You could also change this text up here. So I'll change this, I'll be like LOGYBEATS melodies 421. And that just makes it look a little more professional or whatever than having just like this big ass Google link or whatever. And the reason I like to do the MP3s is because you can just attach them directly to the email. So I could take up, like, it probably won't let me attach all of these, but I could take a few of them and just drop them onto the email too. So the reason I do this is because a lot of producers, especially like big producers, they don't like to necessarily like click straight through links, especially from someone that they don't know, because it could be like some real sus shit, you know, like someone trying to hack their computer or something like that. So people don't always want to click through the links, you know what I mean? They just want to hear the melodies. And I'll usually put like a little note, you know, if I'm sending it to like someone I don't know, for example, like let's say I'm trying to send melodies to like fucking Murda Beats or Metro Boomin or something like that. You know, like some big producer, I'll put like, here's some melodies melodies, click the link for the stems. You know, and I'll just put something just like that, just to let them know, like, yo, like, this is legit. Like, here's some melodies. If you like the melodies, but you want the stems for them or whatever, then, you know, click the link here. And that's basically how I do it. You know, if somebody clicks the link, it's going to take them straight to the folder, you know, where they got everything here. They got the stems. I mean, obviously, you guys know how to use Google Drive probably, so they could download it and all that stuff, load it right into FL Studio and, you know, pull them up. So, yeah, that's the way I do it. I just wanted to make this tutorial, hopefully to help some people out. Like, this is, like I said, this is just the way that I like to do it. So it's your music, like, do it however you want. But for me personally, like, when people send loops, like, this is the way that I like them to be. And I notice a lot of people, like, will send them all kinds of, like, different ways. And sometimes they'll be all messed up. They'll be having, like, the loop will be off, like, there'll be space in the fucking beginning of it, or, like, this, you know, the stems will be all weird looking and shit. So hopefully this helps out some of you guys. Let me know what you think. Drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment. It's always appreciated. Let me know what you want to see next. And until the next one, peace.